People, tomorrow is the day. Whether you are a Pistons fan, a Rockets fan, a Knicks fan, a Kings fan, tomorrow is a big day for your team. It's bigger for more teams than others. But it is the NBA draft, the 2021 NBA draft, arguably one of the biggest and one of the deepest NBA drafts we've had in a while. Hopefully, supposedly, with the amount of talent that's in this draft. Since this is the first year of the CKHoops channel's existence, I figured why not have some fun with the mock draft this year and see what you guys think. What do you agree, disagree with? I love that part of sports. I love that not everyone has the same mindset on a lot of things. So let's have some fun with it. It is a time for the CK mock draft. Let's jump into it. What's going on, CKHoops? Your boy CK here, and welcome back to another video. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Do not forget to like this video, join the Discord, and from my news break family, make sure you hit that follow button for your boy. And like I said, today we're going to be going through my mock draft. It might be a little different, it might be similar, but I feel like a lot of people's mock drafts are going to be all over the place, especially after you get through maybe the first 4 picks. We're just gonna stick to the first round on this one. There's a lot of names that are going to drop down to the second round, but I'm going to speed through this one and have some fun with my personal mock draft. Let's see if you guys agree or disagree with some of my thoughts on this one, but we're going to try to zoom past this one. And we're going to start off with the easiest choice in the entire draft, and that's with the Detroit Pistons and Cade Cunningham. Do I need to say anything else? Cade Cunningham, in my opinion, is the best player in this draft. Perfect fit for that team. They are in desperate need of just anything, any kind of transcendent talent, and I feel like Cade Cunningham will be that guy for this team. Whether he does play the point guard or whether he plays the 3 and handles the ball, I think he'll be a great fit for that team. So Detroit Pistons, Cade Cunningham. Number 2, my favorite prospect of this draft. I know they're going back and forth of who should be 2 and who should be 3. For me, I'm going number 2, Jalen Green. Jalen Green will be that instant filler for this Houston Rockets team after losing James Harden in a trade last year for a lot of everything. I think that putting him next to a guy like Kevin Porter Jr. will be a lot of fun for this team. I think Jalen Green is, like I said, he's my favorite prospect in this draft. He is going to be a transcendent talent in this league for a long time. Effortless scoring, effortless offensive game. I love Jalen Green's game. I think he's definitely easily the number 2 overall pick for the Houston Rockets. Number 3 for the Cleveland Cavaliers. For me, this is a no-brainer for the Cleveland Cavaliers, even though they have a lot of people at this position, a lot of talent at this position. This guy is easily going to be a unicorn in this league, and I'm talking about none other than Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley for this team would be phenomenal. You easily slot him in right there. Jared Allen, I think, is going to be tremendous on this team. Maybe you can find some rotations where you can play both of them. Maybe it's time to move Larry Nance. Who knows? But Evan Mobley for this team makes a lot of sense. I wanted to do Jalen Suggs here. If they, in fact, do trade Colin Sexton, I do definitely think that is something that is possible. I think Suggs and Garland could be a crazy tandem, but I feel like you got to go with the guy that makes the most sense. This guy does everything. So Evan Mobley for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Moving on to number 4 with the Toronto Raptors. I'm already taking too long. Number 4, easily, hands down, Jalen Suggs. Makes the most sense. Probably one of the better fits that you're going to see in this draft because Kyle Lowry most likely is not going to come back. Jalen Suggs is going to be playing next to one of the better guards in the league in Fred VanVleet. I think that'll be a lot of fun, whether VanVleet comes off the bench, whether VanVleet plays alongside him, whether Suggs comes off the bench, at least in his rookie season. Whatever they end up doing, Jalen Suggs is the future for Toronto, and Toronto does this very well at building from within and doing it with their own pieces and their own players. So for Toronto Raptors to go in with Jalen Suggs would be completely crazy. I think that's a great pickup for them. So Jalen Suggs going to the Toronto Raptors, good pickup for them. And for the 5th overall pick, I'm actually going to go with Jonathan Kuminga. I think that a lot of mocks have Scotty Barnes going 5th. I like Scotty Barnes' talent a lot, but I'm going to go with Jonathan Kuminga because I feel like the upside for this kid is going to be tremendous. I think that Kuminga fits really well with the younger guys they have already on this Orlando Magic team. So give me Kuminga going to the Orlando Magic right now. And that leaves none other than Scotty Barnes for me to go 6 to the Oklahoma City Thunder because that is what Oklahoma City Thunder need. They need that scoring wing. They don't have a solid solidified go-to scoring wing. They have a star point guard in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, or a 2 guard depending on what you want to say, and put Kemba at the point guard, whatever, but they need that scoring wing, that guy that can be a next level for them. And this team, regardless of what you might feel about the Oklahoma City Thunder, they typically do a good job of developing their younger players. So I feel like Scotty Barnes going with this team would be a lot of fun. I think he will be able to thrive in silence and do what he has to do and become a better player for this team alongside the younger squad of Shai Gilgeous and all those other guys that they have on this team. So give me Scotty Barnes going number 6 to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Number 7, if the Golden State Warriors, of all these top 10 teams, I think the Golden State Warriors are going to move this pick, but I'm not going to play the trade game. If the Golden State Warriors keep their pick at number 7, I feel like I'm stuck between two names, but I'm going to go with probably the offensive juggernaut, the flamethrower in James Bouknight. I think that he would be so good for this team. I think this might be high on a lot of people's mocks when it comes to James Bouknight. I think that he could be a solid scorer at the next level. He could be anywhere between like a J.R. Smith, Nick Young type or like a Bradley Beal type when it comes to being a scorer. Either way, I think you put him on this team where he's playing with all these vets, the Warriors culture and stuff like that, that can ultimately turn him into a better player, regardless if he ends up being flipped somewhere down the line at some point, whatever. But I like him going number 7 to the Golden State Warriors. So number 8, the Magic are back up, and to be real with you, I had to flip this one around because I initially was gonna go with, I cannot say dude's name, Alperen. I was gonna initially go with him. I think it's Sengun. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. I'm not gonna go with that route anymore because I think Mo Bamba is going to have himself a nice season. I think that Jamal Mosley is going to do a great job with Mo Bamba and with Wendell Carter Jr. So I'm really excited to see what he mixes up with them. So to go with the 8th overall pick, I'm gonna mix it up, and I think that they might go with Moses Moody. I think Moses Moody from Arkansas would fit this team really well. Solid scorer, great age for this team, wingspan. He adds a lot of factors at the 2 position for this team that this team could be needing. I know they have Terrence Ross and they have this, that, and the third, but I like him being a part of that guard situation, of being another wing for this team. I'm going with Moses Moody here for the Orlando Magic at number 8, which brings me to number 9 for the Sacramento Kings, and I'm gonna give them another wing. If they're not able to pull any of these trades for like a Kyle Kuzma or Michael Porter Jr., there's all these kind of crazy trades that are being rumored for the Sacramento Kings. So if they're not able to pull any of these, I'm gonna give them a wing right now in Franz Wagner from the Michigan Wolverines. I have to say it with the accent, I'm sorry, but yes, you're gonna give him I think it just makes the most sense at the wing. He's a solid scorer. He just seems like such a Sacramento Kings pick. I don't know if it's because of all the many names in the past they've selected that have been just like Franz that played the exact same game style, but he just seems like the perfect fit for them at the wing to pair next to all the offense that they have with Tyrese Halliburton and with De'Aaron Fox. So give me Franz going number 9 to Sacramento Kings. Number 10. Now recently we just saw the Pelicans trade this pick to the Memphis Grizzlies, and I don't think that this name changes. I think it just makes sense next to John Morant. You give him a younger guy to play next to him, even though John Morant is young himself. But I'm sticking with the Aussie Josh Giddey. I don't know if that's how you say his name, but I'm sticking with him going 10 to Memphis Grizzlies. Again, but I want to give them Turkish big man, Mr. Sengun or whatever. He's probably a guy that's going to be slept on, and he's probably going to get picked a lot sooner than what I have him on my mock draft, especially knowing this, knowing the scouting of a lot of these teams. And it was a toss-up between him and Josh Giddey. You have the potential of pairing him with John Morant in some instances if that works out. I feel like he's a guy that fits really well for them, especially when they're going to have a guy like Steven Adams already as a big. I don't know. They got Big Tillman from I don't know. It just, to me, I like the Josh Giddey fit for Memphis as well, so I'm going to keep that at number 10. That was originally where I had him going to New Orleans, but I'm keeping him going to Memphis. Now, next up, going to 11 with the Charlotte Hornets. This is where I'm going to put the Turkish big man, and I think you give him next to LaMelo Ball, but I think pairing him with LaMelo Ball and with the guys that they got right there, I would love to see them get a wing for sure. There's a lot of names I could see them getting. Jalen Johnson would be crazy for the Hornets as well, but you cannot pass up this kind of talent. You don't know what kind of big he's going to end up being, but with the kind of stuff that he's able to do over with Turkey that a lot of us might not know much about at 6'10", 240, he's a very, very solid ball mover, a lot like LaMelo Ball. I think the pairing of the two of them would be a lot of fun in Charlotte. I think that that's something that a lot of people would love to see. He's a good scorer as well. He averaged 19 points per game just in the last season alone overseas. Not a solid three-point shooter, but he's solid in the mid-range, is solid around the rim. 8.7 boards, 1.6 blocks. The kid's nice, so I would love to see him next to LaMelo Ball long term. It'd be a lot of fun. A cool little story of the two of them. I think that'd be a good pickup for the Charlotte Hornets. Now here's the tough one, the San Antonio Spurs, and this is why it's tough for me, because There's the rumor right now about the San Antonio Spurs flipping DeJounte Murray and Derrick Rose. Whoa, chill out. Derrick White. So do you go the point guard route and give them Davion Mitchell, or I have a three-way tie of who I think will be the next guy that's going to be paired up with Popovich for the San Antonio Spurs. But again, I don't know if they do actually trade DeJounte Murray or Derrick White. I think Derrick White more so than DeJounte Murray might get moved, but I'm going to keep it with the roster that they have right now, just keep it nice and easy, and I'm going to actually give them Jalen Johnson. I understand the whole story with Jalen Johnson at Duke and, you know, him quitting on the team and whatever you want to feel about Jalen Johnson there, but the fit with Jalen Johnson for this team, a 6'9", a big wing that does damn near everything, it just, to me, it has Popovich written all over it. If Jalen Johnson is able to buy into what goes on with San Antonio, Jalen Johnson could be such a phenomenal fit with Greg Popovich at this spot. I don't know. He might get selected earlier. They might go with somebody else, but Jalen Johnson going to the San Antonio Spurs to me makes a lot of sense. So I'm going with Jalen Johnson going 12th to the San Antonio Spurs. 13, this one's a toss-up for me because they do have an injury problem. They do have themselves their point guard in Malcolm Brogdon, but they do have a sort of an injury problem with him as well. Do they go the point guard route? Their backup point guards are great. TJ McConnell, Aaron Holiday. Aaron Holiday has been good, but he has been great. So to me, I'm going to make it nice and simple, and I'm going to keep them with Davion Mitchell. I think Davion Mitchell could be a next level guy for this team, whether they do end up moving Malcolm Brogdon at some point. I like the fit with Davion Mitchell with this squad, Karis LeVert, all the kinds of guys they have. I kind of want to give him a big like Usman Garuba or something like that because I think they're going to end up flipping Miles Turner. So it's a toss up on that one for me, but I'm going to stick with Davion Mitchell going number 13 to the Indiana Pacers. And at 14 for the final pick in the lottery of this draft, I'm gonna go with the Golden State Warriors, picking up the gunslinger from Gonzaga. I'm gonna give Corey Kispert 14 overall to the Golden State Warriors. Again, another shooter, another guy, but this time a big shooter, a big scorer for this team. You know, he played all 4 years. He's a bit older. He's a senior. He's 22 years old. He fits the style of the Golden State Warriors, but he's a bigger guard, a bigger forward at that position, 6'7". Corey Kispert's fit for this team, beefs up the bench. You get Kispert and you get James Bouknight from this draft. I think they have a great trade package if they want to flip these two picks, or B, two solid guys to come off the bench to play, to add some youth to this team with Klay Thompson and Steph Curry. Bouknight probably ends up starting for this team, who knows, but I like Corey Kispert's fit for this team. So now that we're out of the lottery and we talked a little bit too much with those picks, I want to speed round who I got coming up here. I might give one-liners for all these next players, so I'm gonna keep it quick and we're gonna go through it. All right, starting with number 15, the Washington Wizards. The Washington Wizards can take anything, so I'm gonna give them Keon Johnson. Yes, I have Keon Johnson falling out of the lottery. I think he'll fit nice. Washington Wizards, Keon Johnson. Next, 16, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder back at it again. The Thunder, like I said, they like to develop. They drafted old boy Alex, I can't say his name, Poku is what I've been calling him. They drafted him last year. I think they go with another project, give them Usman Garuba at number 16. 17, we have the Pelicans back in the mix. They flipped this pick with the Memphis Grizzlies, so now they're going to be here. And where I would have had them getting a point guard earlier on, I think you give them a guy that can be a two-way player, a solid two-way player for them. I'm going to give them Chris Duarte, the 4-year player from Oregon. Let them get some experience over there. Willie Green would love him. Give him Chris Duarte. Ooh, 18, Oklahoma City Thunder yet again. This one is a toss-up, and though I know my Knicks are coming up right next, and I don't want to play biases here, so this one's going to hurt me. I'm going number 18. I'm going to give them Trey Murphy III, going to the Oklahoma City Thunder at 18. I think there's a toss-up here. There's still Jaden Springer on the board, but I really believe that Trey Murphy III is going to jump up on this board, so I'm going to go with Trey Murphy. Unfortunately, getting picked right before my New York Knicks, and a lot of Knicks fans will be upset seeing this. So Trey Murphy, number 18, going to Oklahoma City Thunder, which leaves 19 to my New York Knicks, where I can see them drafting Jared Butler. Now, it's either Jared Butler or Sharif Cooper is what I'm looking at. I think that they go this guard position here. I think that they go away from what a lot of the mocks are saying, where we get Kyle Jones, but I think that they go with Jared Butler at 19. He's the guy that has probably the most experience. He's a defensive minded guy that's great for Tom Thibodeau. He plays that point guard position the way Tom Thibodeau would like. So I think Jared Butler goes 19 to the New York Knicks. At 20, one thing I noticed for the Atlanta Hawks in the playoffs, they don't really have a backup point guard. Luckily, they were able to use Lou Williams, and he played the point guard position well, although I still still believe he is a better off guard. For the Atlanta Hawks, I have them selecting Jaden Springer at this spot. And at the 20th overall pick, I think Jaden Springer would be a good fit playing the 1 and the 2 for this team. He'd be able to slot in very well. He's a rebounding guard. He does a lot of things well. I think he'd be a great backup to 1 of the 2, maybe getting some starts, eventually playing next to Trae Young. I like Jaden Springer falling down to the Atlanta Hawks here at 20. Now we're back to my Knicks at 21. And at 21, I have the Knicks selecting... I have to go with my brain more than what I want. What I would want in this position would be Zaire Williams, but I can see the Knicks at the position drafting Isaiah Jackson, the big man from Kentucky. The Knicks right now, though they are in desperate need of a shot-creating wing, they're in a desperate need of some point guard play. They're also in a desperate need for a big man that's not named Mitchell Robinson. Right now, we only have Mitchell Robinson as the only big man who's literally almost a mirror of what Mitchell Robinson does at a smaller position. Great, tremendous shot blocker, but also has a problem of drawing those fouls in shot blocking. This is not a CK2 video, so I'm gonna keep it right there. 21, Isaiah Jackson going to the Knicks. 22, I think is one of the easiest picks of all time. Sharife Cooper going to Los Angeles Lakers. It fits a need for this Los Angeles Lakers team. It fits a spot where Sharife Cooper can be in LA. I know that the lights are gonna be bright over there, whatever the case may be, but he's going to become a fan favorite because he's already a fan favorite from where he's at. I like Sharife Cooper for Los Angeles Lakers at 22. Now the Rockets have back-to-back picks right here. I'm gonna go with Day'Ron Sharpe, the big man from North Carolina, with 23. And then I'm gonna go with Tre Mann from Florida. I think Tre Mann is not going to make it to 30. I think he gets slotted up because there's a lot of upside in Tre Mann, another rebounding guard that can also score the ball at a good clip. I like him fitting with the Houston Rockets. So 23, I'm gonna give them Day'Ron Sharpe, and I'm gonna give them Tre Mann at 24. 25, I think that the hometown kid goes back home to the Los Angeles Clippers. Zaire Williams, for the story, is going to go home to Los Angeles Clippers at 25. At 26, I like Quentin Grimes for them. 26, Quentin Grimes going to the Denver Nuggets. 27, give this team shooting. Let the Nets get some more shooters. Cam Thomas going 27th to the Brooklyn Nets. So there's a lot of question as to what's going to happen with Ben Simmons for the Philadelphia 76ers. So I think that they draft point guard here, and I'm going to give them the Illinois kid, Ayo Dosunmu. Did I say your name wrong? Probably, but I'm gonna go with I said Ayo Dosunmu going to the Philadelphia 76ers at pick number 28. 29, I feel like this team needs another stretch big. I know they drafted Jalen Smith last season. I think that they go and they keep the guard situation the way that they have it. I think they go back and get Chris Paul and they bring back Cameron Payne. So I think they keep it that way. I don't think they go with another guard here. So at 29, I got Kai Jones going to the Phoenix Suns. And for the 30th pick, the final pick in the first round, and I know he's supposed to be a second rounder, but I'm gonna go with Josh Christopher going 30 to none other than the Utah Jazz. I think that Josh Christopher could learn a lot and play really nice behind a guy like Donovan Mitchell, both undersized guards that are very good scorers. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I'm gonna put Josh Christopher jumping up at the last pick, number 30 in the first round, to the Utah Jazz. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is my mock draft right here. If you missed all of them, these are all the players that I think are going to wear. Let me know your thoughts about everything in the comments below. This is the longest video on CK Hoops. I'm curious to hear what you guys think. The draft is tomorrow. I'm excited. Let's have some fun with it. I cannot wait to talk to you guys in the comments below. You know what it is. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and join me on the Discord so we can talk more trash about my mock draft. And let's see how close I get. Do you guys think I'm gonna be like 50% correct? Do you think I'm gonna be like 20% correct? Do you think I'm gonna be 100% correct? Let me know your thoughts about that in the comments below. I'm gonna catch you guys in the next video. I'll see y'all later. I'm out of here, and peace.